Good afternoon everyone, and welcome to this tutorial on how to cut service openings through steel beams. Okay, so I have a basic model open here, and first thing I'm going to do is generate a family file that we can use to actually cut the steelwork. So we begin by going to the menu browser, and then we create a new family file. So the RFT file, or the Revit family template file, we're after in this case is going to be a line-based family. And then I'll open this up. So you can see within the line-based family we just have a very simple length parameter here. And what we're going to do here is we're going to create a swept void. Now this means that I'll be able to actually cut the void at a later date from the steelwork. So I'm going to choose void sweep. Very next thing I'm going to do is select the path of the sweep, and that's simply going to be the reference line that's already on the family file, and that's the sweep path done. Now what Revit Structure does is it automatically creates a three-dimensional work plane that I can actually draft on. So I'm going to go back to modify sweep here, and we're going to create a profile. Yep. So we'll go ahead and draw a profile. Okay, and I also want this to basically be parametric. So I'm going to start with a rectangle like this. Just going to set my scale here so the dimensions aren't too big. Okay, and we'll go ahead and balance this up with equal dimensions. Okay, we'll just switch the dimensions on. Sometimes you'll find that they are switched off, so in visibility graphics you can just turn them on quite easily. Okay, and we'll get the dimensions going this way as well. Again, we'll make them equal. So we can flex the family file. That's basically just dragging it around to make sure it's going to update, and that looks okay at the moment. So we want to create a parameter there for the service opening width and the service opening depth. So to do that, I just pick a normal dimension, I add a parameter, and in here I'm going to make this instance based. That's so each one can actually change. Now if I wanted to, I could actually generate these as shared parameter files as well, so I could report on them. Okay. What we're going to do here though is we'll just create them as instance parameters for the moment, and this will be called service opening width, like that. Bear in mind all of this is case sensitive, and we'll do one for the depth as well. Okay, I'll just paste that back in there, and we'll call that depth. Again, it's an instance-based parameter. Okay, so it's worth actually flexing the family file just to make sure it's all going to operate correctly. So I can go into family types here, type in a service opening width and a service opening depth, and we can see that's updating. Now the last little detail I might want to actually add in here for the 3D model is going to be fillet radii. So in here you can see I've got a fillet arc, and I'm just going to set the fillet arc to 25 for the moment. Okay, and we'll go ahead and round off all the corners there, like so. I'm going to get Revit to put some radial dimensions on these, and each one of them needs a dimension because we'll control these very shortly. So then I can pick all four of those 25 dimensions like that. Let's just remove the arc there. Let's do that again. So we want all four of those dimensions. Add parameters in, and this one's going to be called opening radius. Right, and we'll make those instances as well. Okay, so I'm going to finish the sweep there. And now if we go and have a look at the 3D view, when we actually finish the full sweep here, we can see that we have that void. Yep. Now to make this slightly better, I could actually start to put some 2D details in as well. So I might want to see centre lines on this, for example. So I'm going to go into a left hand view here, and I'm just going to create a couple of reference planes like this. Okay, and we'll align those into the profile and lock them in like that. And then I can actually create some centre lines. Now what I want to do is put them on their own object style here. So I'm going to create one here called Service Opening Centres. I'll make these a light grey so they're not too prominent on the model, and the line type I'm going to use is going to be centre line. Okay, so let's now add those in. So now if I go and use a symbolic line, you'll see in here that I can go and use my new layer, for want of a better word, or subcategory, and we'll draw in a centre line this way and a centre line this way. So I want to better control the ends of those lines as well, or the overhang as it were. Yep, so we'll get those set up like this. Okay, and again I'll pick all of those dimensions like that, and we'll add a parameter through. So this will be called centre line overhang, and again I'll make those instance based like that. The last thing I've got to do is make sure that I actually align all this together. Yeah, so we'll go to align, and we're going to lock these in like that. Okay, now I might not always want to see the centre lines, so again I'm going to add a little parameter in here that will control the visibility. So we'll put in here centre line visibility, and we'll make those instance based as well. And I'm going to store this under graphics. Right, so I think that's the void family done, so we'll save that away. I'll just put this on my desktop for the moment. Oops, I've already got that there. Let's save it somewhere else. So we'll do save as. Let's just call this service opening. Okay, and we'll load this into the project. Right, now once it's loaded in, you'll see that we have the service opening lined up there. I can set the offset from the level I'm actually on. So I'm on the second floor at the moment. So let's set that to 3 meters just for the moment, and we'll say we want a service opening to go as far as there. Okay, so let's just take a look at that from this elevation here. So we're going to this elevation, and you can see the opening. Now you can see my centre lines now being shown, and again I could control the centre line visibility very easily from there. Obviously in here, let's just expand that. I can change the size of the opening, so we'll make that 300, maybe a 150 there. Let's change the radius to say 20, that's the corner radius there, and we'll have a centre line overhang of, let's make those 75, and we'll put them on. Now the beauty of doing that, of course, is then I can detail it. So if I go to some dimensions here, now I could start to actually dim this up as follows, like that, and then of course we can pick on this and we can use the parametric dimensions to drive the opening. Yeah. Right, so let's actually go into the 3D view here and see what we've got in 3D. So you can see my void there, but nothing's actually cut. So to physically cut it, we pick a beam like this, we go to cut, and basically I can tell it to cut. Now one last thing I've got to do is this. If I pick the family, I did forget to do this, and then edit the family file, we do actually have here family categories and parameters. Now a brand new command that came out in Revit Structure 2012 was this tool here, cuts with void when loaded, and that needs to be ticked. Yeah, did forget to do that, so we'll save that away and load it back into the project and overwrite. Okay, let's try that again. So we pick the beam, click on the standard cut geometry command, yeah, and then we should better start to cut that away, and you can see there's the cut. Now of course we can continue through that for the rest of the beams. Yeah. Let's just roll that round so you can see the view better. Okay, so we go to the next one here, tell that to cut as well. Okay, and so on. Now, the great thing with that, if I just, let me just close down some hidden views there, and we'll go into the south elevation, and we'll now tile the views, yep, so we can see them all. I'll just close down my family files here, don't really need those anymore. Okay, So of course I'll now be able to actually control this geometry quite easily. So if I wanted to change the height of this, I could just pick the void former there, and in here we could say 100 or whatever we want there, 150. If I wanted to make it a bit wider, again in here I could change the opening to say 500. You can see that change. If I wanted to control the lateral position, again we can change that. And you can see I've got my detailing all happening here in the model as well. Now once again, if I wanted to, I could put that same detailing on the plan view, so we could actually see the centre line of the service opening in plan, and maybe the hidden detail as well. Okay, hope that's been useful for you.